Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Wednesday the UN Palestinian Refugee Agency UNRWA must be shut down.
And we need to get other UN agencies and other aid agencies replacing UNRWA if we're going to solve the problem of Gaza as we intend to do.
Major donors suspended their funding to the agency after Israel accused 12 of some 13,000 agency employees in Gaza of taking part in the October 7th U.S.-designated terrorist group Hamas-led attack that sparked the devastating Israeli offensive in Gaza. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres on Wednesday said UNRWA was the backbone of all humanitarian response in Gaza. Iran has threatened to decisively respond to any U.S. attack on the Islamic Republic after President Joe Biden linked Tehran to the killing of 3 U.S. soldiers at a military base in Jordan. AP correspondent Charles de Ledesma reports.
The US has signalled it's preparing for retaliatory strikes in the wake of the Sunday drone attack that also injured around 40 troops. But there are concerns that any additional American strikes could further inflame a region already roiled by Israel's war on Hamas and the ongoing attacks by Yemen's Houthi rebels on shipping in the Red Sea. The Iranian warnings first came from Amir Saeed Iravani, Iran's ambassador to the UN in New York. He gave a briefing to journalists late on Tuesday, according to the state-run IRNA news agency. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The United States on Wednesday added more than a dozen Chinese companies to a list created by the Defense Department to highlight firms it says are allegedly working with Beijing's military. This is VOA News. Turkish warplanes continue to pound U.S.-backed Kurdish forces in Syria that are fighting Islamic State militants. As Dorian Jones reports from Istanbul, Turkey's assault is fueling speculation among observers that Washington could be preparing to pull out and cut back its support for Kurdish forces in Syria.
Turkish drones have been pounding the Syrian border region controlled by the Syrian Democratic Forces. Turkey accuses the SDF's main groups, the Kurdish YPG and YPJ, of being affiliated with the PKK, which both Ankara and Washington consider a terrorist organization. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan is now threatening a land invasion, but the SDF is backed by a US military force of about 900 as part of the fight against the so-called Islamic State group. However, analysts point to reports that Washington is considering a pullout from Syria. Dorian Jones, VOA News, Istanbul.
A senior U.S. diplomat expressed confidence on Wednesday that Congress would back new aid for Ukraine, reflecting broad American support for its war effort, adding she was impressed with the unity and resolve she saw in Kyiv. Uncertainty surrounds U.S. economic and military assistance for Ukraine. A Russian politician who criticizes Vladimir Putin's war in Ukraine says he's gotten enough signatures to stand against him in elections in March. Critics say Boris Nadezhdin must have the Kremlin's support, but he denies it. Reuters correspondent Lucy Fielder reports.
Nadezhdin says he's harnessing a sizable protest vote. In Chelyabinsk last week, signatories interviewed by Reuters seemed to confirm that. I came because I'm against the war, and he's the only deputy against it, this woman says. This is what Nadezhdin told Reuters last week.
I want to change the country. I want there to be peace and normal life here, for Russia to be a peaceful and free country.
Nadezhdin sometimes appears on state TV, where he criticizes the authorities before being swiftly drowned out by anchors. After heating outages across Russia during a cold winter, he said the country would be able to spend more on its citizens if it didn't pour so much money into the military. The Kremlin has dismissed Nadezhdin as no serious rival to Putin. Putin has already collected more than 3.5 million signatures, according to his supporters.
Reuters correspondent Lucy Fielder. Peruvian authorities have reopened the train route to Machu Picchu, the Andean country's railway operator said on Wednesday, after an agreement was struck to end protests that had blocked access to the famed Incan site and stranded tourists.
Thank you for watching. Can you do me a favor? Please leave a comment in the comments section below. That would really help. Thank you, and see you again soon.